This video will look at how to add a news or highlight story to our website. So to start off, you'll go into User Options and launch Site Manager. So even though these stories will be highlighted on your main homepage, they will actually live in a separate section where we will keep our news archives. So once you've logged in, go under your Our School channel, and then you'll open up the section for news. Within that news section, you'll probably just have a page for 18-19 school year, and you can go ahead and click to open the editing for that page. So in that page, you'll see a Headlines and Features app, and you can click the green plus sign to add a new headline to that app. So every story will be called a headline in this kind of terminology. And so I already have my story kind of pulled up over here so I can copy and paste. The first thing you'll add is a title, and that will display on your page, so make sure it's something, eye-catching and does not need to be too long, does not need to be a complete sentence, just like a quick summary of what your story is about. The second thing to add here is an accent image. And that is going to be the little kind of thumbnail picture that shows up on the rotator on your home page. So I have an image saved, and I'll go ahead and do select file. That will bring up this kind of menu where you can choose what type or where you want to get your image from. So if it's already something uploaded to your website, you can use this existing image. I think Cloud will let you get right into your OneDrive, but I'm going to do upload image. For the most part, what to me seems the easiest is as you're getting ready or preparing a story to post, go ahead and save the images you want to use onto your desktop. And I recommend naming them something that's clear, that kind of goes with what the story is about, and something that does not have spaces in the title. And that way later when you're looking at the back end in your files and folders and you see a bunch of images, they will all be pretty clear what goes with what. It may even be a good practice to start adding like a date to the end, that type of thing. So you can kind of think about that, but you'll see the picture I've added. I took out the spaces and I've called it something that goes with the story. So once you browse and select your photo that you want to use, hit continue. And this gives you a little preview of the photo. One thing, when we're working with the accent images, it's really important that we always use a width of 150 pixels. So I'm going to type 150, and then once I click outside of the box, you'll see it adjusts the height so it keeps the same ratio and it won't stretch out the photo. But you always want the width itself to be 150 for your accent image. So I'll click Insert Image. So you can see it's pulled my file, it's going to upload it to the website, and I have my height and width here, width again of 150. It's important to add alt text for every image that you upload to the site. So I'm going to copy the little descriptor that I wrote. The purpose of the alt text is basically for somebody who either their browser is blocking images or they can't see the image. It gives a little descriptor to what is going on in the image. The next thing we're going to look at is this display duration. You can leave this blank if you're ready to post the item right now, or if you either want to backdate and you want this to appear to have another date. For example, if the event took place or was about something on January 2nd, I can go ahead and backdate it if I need to show up that way in the archives. Otherwise, for most things, you can leave this blank and it will automatically start or post the day that you're posting it. We won't need an end date for these news stories because we do want them to live in the archives, and the end date is basically what that would do is deactivate your story after a certain date. But since we're wanting to keep the archives, you can leave that blank. This will default to article, and that is how we want to leave it. So the next piece, you might have to do some kind of finagling here to scroll, but the last thing we're looking at is the main body of the text. So I'm going to copy and paste here. It says a little story that Liz did for Southside. And so you'll see this is basically a text editor. Like Kelly has said, it doesn't need to be, real long, just a few sentences is fine. I would not play around too much with kind of crazy formatting, but it can look nice to add your title again here. So I'm going to go back up to the top and copy my title, paste it right here, and I'm going to do that as heading. I'm going to do a heading 3. So that'll give just the beginning. When we pull up the story, you'll see the title there as well. The rest of this I would leave alone as far as the regular formatting, but I did want to show a couple things. If you wanted to insert a hyperlink, so for example, if I had a flyer or click here for more information, you can highlight the text where you want to add the link, click insert link, and if you have a URL you want to use, you'll use the web address option. Likewise, if you had an email address, you could do it here. It's automatically pulling the text to display based on what I had highlighted. And the last thing on a web address, you have the option to do new tab or new window or same window. And so what we recommend on that is if you are linking to something internal that's part of our Jackson-Madison County website, then you'll open in the same window. But if you're doing anything external, then you'll do a new window, and you just hit insert link and your hyperlink will come up. I'm not going to insert that because I don't actually want to link anything here. Likewise, if you have a file you'd like to link to, for example, if it's a flyer or that type of thing, a PDF is always recommended. Do not use Word documents unless it's specifically something that you need to give people access to edit. 99% of the time you would use a PDF, but you can click here to insert a file, and it's going to look similar to our photo upload, where if it's an existing file that's already on your site, you can click there. Cloud if you need to get it from OneDrive, or upload file if you have it on your computer. Again, any files that you're uploading to your site, you want to make sure they are named something very clear and logical. Always include a date, and make sure to take out any spaces from the file name. And so instead of a space, you can use kind of that, I can't think of the name, but the underline type little space character. Okay, so I'm going to hit cancel because I don't actually want to do that. I'll backspace out that text so I don't forget to remove it later. Most of the rest of this looks like a normal text editor. Note if you use bullets, it will do like the big circle arrow bullets. So just make sure kind of that works with the look you are trying to get if you add those. One other thing to look at is adding photos. So if I want to go ahead and add the photo again, I'll click on that little image button. And I can actually do existing image because I've already uploaded it as my accent image. I'll hit continue, and it's going to bring up the original size. That works well for these purposes. I always recommend using your accent photo. If you don't have any other images, go ahead and upload it again and have it on both pages. So when you open up the story, you still see the photo. And on that page, you can do it just the full size. So I'm going to go ahead and paste in my alt text again. You can use the same one, but you do have to enter it every time you add the photo. And I'm going to go ahead and do right alignment and insert image. And so because this is such a small window, you may not see the layout, but you can click and drag. Like if I want this to be kind of up here in line with this other paragraph, I should be able to click and move it up. It's not working real well in this little tiny window here. But we can always go in and edit that later if we need to. So I'm going to keep scrolling down, and you'll see we got kind of two scrolling here. So I want to get past the bottom of that body text editor. And then we have a couple more things. So the first thing is this teaser text, and it says optional, but go ahead in your brain and cross that off because we do always want to include teaser text. That's what's going to show up right on your home page, and what it needs to be is just a couple sentences about kind of leading into your story and hooking people's interest. So let's see. Sometimes you can use just the beginning phrase of your story. So let's see, I'm going to look at what this says and try and update the wording just so it's a little more exciting. All right. So you can see how I kind of changed that just a little bit to kind of draw in the interest. Again, just a couple sentences, no more, and that's what we'll display on the home page. So let's see, we can add in a name, phone number, email address. What that will do is basically give like your info as the author of the story. I think for the most part we can leave that blank. It's not really something that we need at this time. You don't need to worry about the website viewers really, or tags. So we use tagging when we are sharing to multiple pages, but for now you don't need to add any of that. So I have filled in everything, the most important things being making sure I'm including teaser text and including an accent image of 150 pixels wide. I'll go ahead and click save. And so that headline has saved. If you're ready to add another one, you can hit the plus sign again, or if you ever need to go back and edit something once you've already posted it, the little pencil icon will bring you up to your list of all your news. So right now, this is the only story in this app, but as you add more, that's when they will start rotating. And I believe on the home page, it will pull the last three, so the three most recent. If you ever did need to turn something off or remove it from your site, you can delete, or if you just want to toggle to inactive, you can do that and it won't show up until you reactivate it. So that's another option rather than picking a date to launch. If you want to put in multiple stories, you can go in, put them in, and then keep them inactive until you're ready to kind of release it. You can click I'm done when you're done editing, and that is how we add our news to the website. I'm going to X out of that and we will go back to the live site and refresh. And you'll see right here is where your news story is coming up. So once you get multiple in, it will do the rotator, and that's where I always recommend double checking what this looks like on the live side after you've posted it to make sure the size of the image works and it's not overlapping anything, for example at the bottom where it says next story, that kind of thing. So for now this looks great, and that's how you add news stories to your website.